Welcome to Sidebar, where you vote on the internet's biggest buttholes. Am I the butthole for asking my son's girlfriend to wear a pad to bed? A few weeks ago, my son, 26, and his girlfriend, 23, stayed the night at our house. They had a day's gap between apartment leases and we were happy to have them stay in our guest bedroom. They've been together for 5 years and she's normally very sweet, so this was surprising. At bedtime, I used the bathroom and saw a tampon wrapper in the trash. My daughters are all out of the house and my wife has exited that stage of her life, so I knew it must have been my son's girlfriend. Normally I wouldn't care what kind of feminine product she uses. The thing is, the bed they were about to sleep on had brand new silk sheets that I didn't want to be stained should she leak in the middle of the night. I knocked on the door and explained the situation, and I asked her if she was also wearing a pad. She said no. I asked her to please wear one in addition to the tampon to ensure no leaking, etc. I even found an old box of pads in our basement bathroom for her. Still she refused, saying she wouldn't stain the sheets. I told her to either put a pad on or put a few towels down, and my son told me I was being rude. She ended up taking a pad into the bathroom with her. The wrapper was there when she left the bathroom, but I didn't see a pad in the trash in the morning. So my guess is she didn't even use it. The sheets were fine though, so I didn't want to pursue it. I told my wife what happened and she thinks I was being too pushy. She wants me to apologize. My son also called me to say his girlfriend cried because she was embarrassed. I didn't mean to make her upset, but I do not think it's rude to ensure my brand new silk sheets stay nice. Even if she didn't want to wear a pad, she should have put towels down. I'm baffled by her behavior and would appreciate an apology of my own. Did Opiak like a butthole? Here's what Reddit thinks. You're the butthole. Pads leak just as often as tampons do. Also, this is incredibly intrusive on your part. Am I the butthole for keeping my promise of training her kids like dogs when my cousin dumps them on me? My cousin Amy, 25F, has 6M twins and has a nasty habit of dumping them onto relatives to babysit for the entire day without any warning or regard for their time. I, 27F, have a very strained relationship with her butt because my mom's side of the family demands that we all remain close-knit, so I have no choice to tolerate her. When she initially gave birth to them, she teased me that I'll have to take on babysitting duty from now on. I'm no good with kids, so I remarked to her that if I ever have them, I'll train them, not babysit. She brushed me off. The kids now are hella destructive and loud, pulling out stuffing inside furniture, holes inside walls, smashing anything glass and porcelain, screaming louder than a fire alarm. You name it. When it was my first turn to deal with them, I immediately walked with them to the store and grabbed the biggest bag of M&Ms I could find and trained them so that every time they follow my orders and behave, they get one. If they misbehave, I get one. Soon enough, every time the kids were dumped on me, they went with my guidelines and behave. Whenever I say sit, they sit at the table. When I say stay, they don't leave that spot, etc. 2 days ago there was a party planned with the whole extended family. I know. Pandemic. Didn't want to, but mom insisted and I grabbed the M&Ms since the twins were there. Arrived. Twins were being so destructive. An entire tray of food was spilled that all the adults had enough and yelled at Amy to control them. She vomited the same excuse of them just being kids and they'll grow out of it eventually. I shouted the twins' names and shook my M&M bag. They came running over to me and I popped 6 pieces into my mouth for their misbehavior. I told them to go clean up the mess or no candy all night. They do so. Halfway through the party, every time something similar came up or they just weren't behaving, I was the one able to calm them down. When Amy saw what I was doing, she got angry and started yelling at me about how her children aren't animals and that I shouldn't be giving them so much candy anyway. I told her that I'm their aunt, not their parent. Why am I the one disciplining them? Isn't that her job? She screamed the same argument at me and since she's their mother, to stop giving them candy. One of the twins overheard and went apeshit, dashed straight into the kitchen and started shattering anything that can get his hands on, shouting over and over that he wants candy. His twin joined him soon after. I repeated that she's their mother, and just sat in the living room watching it all unfold. At the end, Amy blamed me for them turning out this way. The other relatives she dumped them on, a majority disagreed, but when I told a friend about the situation, he told me that the training I did can really frick up the kids mentally later in life. Is the poster a butthole or not? Reddit says, not the butthole. This is hilarious. Am I the butthole for taking back my nephew's Christmas present and giving it to my son? My sister and I have always had a strained relationship. I usually just let things go and try to keep the peace. We both have sons who are around the same age. My nephew is 13 and my son just turned 11. For my son's birthday, I bought him the new gaming system he has been wanting. He was absolutely thrilled and he plays non-stop. My sister is bad with money. I usually have to lend her money for bills and stuff for my nephew. I know my nephew doesn't always get the best Christmas gift, so this year I went a little crazy and I purchased the same gaming system for him for Christmas. I already had it ready and wrapped under my tree. Yesterday, my sister's family came to visit. My son asked me if they could go play video games. I said yes and reminded them to be careful. About 30 minutes later, my son comes running to me crying. I asked him what was wrong and he led me to the front hall. When we get to the stairs, I see the new system smashed on the floor. Someone had thrown it from the upstairs and it was now smashed to pieces. I asked my son what happened and he sobbed and pointed at his cousin. I asked my nephew if he did this and he started to laugh. He said that it was a stupid baby toy and that he saw people break them online. My sister came in and I told her what happened. I explained that this was an expensive system and that her son needs to be disciplined for what he did. I told her I wanted her to pay for what her son broke. She laughed and said no. She says I shouldn't have let them play unsupervised, that it was my fault, and that I am a bad parent. She said my son will get over it and that it was not important. Seeing my son sitting on the ground next to his broken system trying to put the pieces back together tore my heart out. I walked over to the Christmas tree and grabbed the system that was meant for my nephew. I pulled the gift wrap off and I gave it to son and told him to go upstairs and set it up. My sister asked me why I was making such a big deal when I had another one already. I then laughed and told her that was her son's Christmas gift, that since it wasn't important and it was just a stupid baby toy, then they obviously won't miss it. I then told them to leave. My nephew realized what happened and began to cry that my son had stole his system. I said no, his was the one that he smashed. My sister was livid and told me that I will never see them again. I just said okay and slammed the door. Other family members have now been calling me nonstop and saying I'm in butthole and that I'll ruin my nephew's Christmas. I don't think so though. My nephew is 13. He is not a stupid kid and he knew what he was doing. I don't care that it was over jealousy. He is old enough to know better. My sister was not going to make the situation right, so I just did what I had to do. They all think I should buy another new system for him, but I don't have that kind of money. I'm starting to feel bad about this and I'm wondering, am I the butthole? Did Opiak like a butthole? Here's what Reddit thinks. Not the butthole. Your sister's terrible parenting ruined her kid's Christmas. Your nephew's jealousy ruined his own Christmas. It's entirely possible that your sister has spun a lie to the extended family. So be sure the flying monkeys have the full story in your responses to them. Am I the butthole for not wanting to get rid of the anime body pillow that saved my marriage? My husband and I are best friends during the day. Love of my life. It's at night that's an issue. I'm a blanket stealer. I once yanked them so hard poor hubby flipped a full 180. Hubby, for his part, is a thrasher. Bruce Lee would be jealous of the moves he pulls off while unconscious. It's a constant war between us when we fall asleep, and both of us often wake up sore and exhausted. It was starting to affect our relationship. Neither of us wanted to move to a separate bed because we like spending our nights together, but it seemed like an inevitability. We were both crabby every morning, and we started fighting as soon as we got up. It sucked, but neither of us wanted to concede defeat and move to the other bed. Quick background. I was a huge nerd as a teenager, full-on otaku. Go ahead. Cringe, I do too. One night as a joke, I brought down an old anime body pillow from the attic. I know. The cringe and plopped it down between my husband and I, declaring it our demilitarized zone. Hubby also thought it was hilarious, and we named her DMZ-chan. She stayed there the whole night. It was a game changer. DMZ-chan protected me from hubby's REM-induced rampages, and she's just heavy enough that I can't yank the blankets at full speed. DMZ-chan is now a beloved part of our nightly routine. We both thought it was the funniest thing, but she legitimately helped us solve the only real issue in our marriage. One day, MIL stopped by to pick something up. She got up to use the restroom, passing by our open bedroom door. You can guess what she saw. DMZ-chan, propped up in the middle of our bed, her giant soulful anime eyes looking right back at MIL. When she got back, she quickly grabbed her stuff and left, hubby and I both confused. She later mentioned DMZ-chan to hubby while they were on the phone, and it absolutely mortified him. As far as I know, MIL now thinks we're deviants in a three-way relationship with a body pillow. Hubby was too embarrassed to explain, and now he wants to put DMZ-chan back in the attic. I was upset. I told him I didn't want to go back to boxing each other at night, and that DMZ-chan helped us so much in that. He agreed. but suggested we get a normal, plain body pillowcase to replace her. I felt like there was no need to spend money on something we already have. And if it really was that big of an issue, we can put her in the closet while we have company over. Hubby is firm in that she has to go permanently. I know he's embarrassed, but I feel we shouldn't have to compromise our inside jokes to appease other people. Am I the butthole? Is the poster a butthole or not? Reddit says, not the butthole. The real problem isn't about removing the pillow, but the fact that your MIL made a scene about something that isn't any of her business. Your husband should stop enabling that. Finally, here's our headline story of the day. Am I the butthole for getting my mom and family kicked out of a conference I was speaking at because they brought my stepfather who I do not get along with? So, the story is that yesterday I was set to give a presentation at a conference that is going on at my university. This started late last year when one of my professors encouraged me and a project partner to submit work we had done in the class as a paper to various publications. We were accepted into an engineering conference paper that my university publishes annually and were set to give a presentation on it at the corresponding conference. Suffice to say, this is a huge deal for me and my project partner as we are both still undergraduates. Because of COVID, the conference became invite only, and if people wanted to attend any of the presentations they needed to reserve seats beforehand. This included potential family that wanted to attend conferences. I got tickets for most of my family, including my mom and siblings, with one caveat. Under no circumstances was my stepfather to attend. My relationship with my stepfather is bad. Really bad. I'll spare my past with him, but the last words I spoke to him were nearly 2 years ago when I told him I can't wait to dance on his grave after he called me a gay slur. Along with being homophobic, he is extremely racist and sexist as well. And seeing as the co-author of my paper is an Indian woman, I wanted him nowhere near this conference. My mom promised me he would not be coming. That was a lie. As when I show up to our presentation, I see his disgusting face in the crowd. Before we went out, I went to one of the organizers and told them the situation and how I felt uncomfortable with him here. The organizer decided to go and tell my stepfather that he needs to leave. While I was not there at the time, this situation apparently escalated when my stepfather refused to leave and ended with my mother, my siblings, and my stepfather being escorted out by campus security. Afterwards, we gave our presentation. Since then, my life has been absolute heck. My mother and stepfather have been crying to everyone in the family about this. My mom told me that I was a monster for embarrassing her like this, and multiple family members have called me a butthole for causing a scene like this. On the other hand though, my father and stepmother have told me I did nothing wrong. They were there as well and told me about how campus security got involved, and that I should seriously consider cutting contact at this point. I feel no regret for getting my stepfather kicked out, but I feel extremely bad for my mom and siblings. My mom has told me that I'm an awful son and a monster, and that I threw a tantrum when my stepfather was just in my presence. I'm conflicted here. Is OP a butthole? Here is what Reddit thinks. OP mom should be asking herself why a man who does not like her child suddenly needs to be at this presentation so badly that he would crash it without an invitation and fight with security when they asked him to leave. If it came from a place of genuine interest and support, he would have respected OP wishes and stayed home, and mom could have videoed it for him to watch later. He wanted to be there as a power move. He wanted to show OP that he was in control of the family and that OP couldn't stop him. And that is why he took it so badly when OP reported him to event security and got him removed. Not the butthole. Now it's your time to vote on the buttholeness of the headline story. Is the poster a butthole? Let us hear your thoughts. Go to the pinned comment under this video. Please hit the thumbs up on the reply of YDA. You are the butthole if you think the OP could have been nicer. Or press thumbs up on the reply saying NTA. Not the butthole if you are on the same side as OP. Feel free to leave your opinion and reason why you voted for the option you did in the comments section. And join the discussion. For more buttholes, subscribe to Sidebar.